Well, howdy, my friend. Come on over and sit for a while. Fire's still warm. You know, there are some things we remember because they were good. You know, your first kiss, a child's laugh, maybe some old friend that we haven't seen in years. And then there are other things that we'd give just about anything to forget, am I right? Something that we said or something that we did, a decision that we knew better than to make. Maybe somebody got hurt. Maybe we disappointed somebody who trusted us. Maybe we even disappointed ourselves. The funny thing about those memories is they seem to know when the house gets quiet and you're ready to go to sleep. They don't always bother you much during the day. You've got things to do. You got people to talk to, places to be. But late at night, well, that's when they seem to pull up a chair. If you've ever laid there staring at the ceiling thinking, I wish I could go back and do that differently, well, you're in pretty good company. You see, there was this fella named Peter. He knew something about that. He loved Jesus. I don't think there's much question about that. He followed him, he listened to him, and he walked beside him. And Peter was pretty confident that when things got bad, he'd be right there. He even told Jesus so. And then things got bad. I mean, really bad. And before the night was over, Peter had denied knowing Jesus 3 times. 3 times. And then the rooster crowed, just as predicted. I imagine Peter heard that rooster in his head for a long time afterward, and he should have. I imagine there were moments when he would have given anything to go back a few hours and try again. But he couldn't. Neither can we. That's one of the hard things about yesterday. You can't fix it by staring at the ceiling tonight. But there's something that happened later in Peter's story that I've always loved. After Jesus rose from the dead, Peter and some of the others went fishing. And early one morning, they saw somebody standing there on the shore. It was Jesus. And he had a fire going. He had some fish cooking. He even had bread. And Jesus said, "Come on over, have breakfast." I've always thought that there was something mighty beautiful about that. Peter had failed him terribly, and Jesus knew it. Peter knew it too. Nobody was pretending that it didn't happen. But Jesus didn't stand on that shoreline shouting accusations across the water. Oh no, he made breakfast. There would be a conversation. There were things Peter needed to face for sure. But his failure wasn't the end of the story. Jesus still wanted him to be near. Now that's grace. Grace doesn't say what you did didn't matter. Sometimes it mattered a great deal. Grace says your worst moment doesn't get to decide the rest of your life. Maybe you messed up. Maybe badly. If there's an apology that needs making, well, you're going to have to make it. And if there's something you can't put right, well, try to put it right. If you need to ask God for forgiveness, ask him. But after you've done what you can, don't build yourself a house back there. You don't have to spend the rest of your life living in the worst thing you've ever done. God already knows about it. You aren't keeping him informed by replaying it every night. And you aren't somehow paying for it by refusing yourself peace. Sometimes I think we're willing to believe that God has grace for everybody except us. We look at somebody else's life and we say, God can forgive that. And then we look at our own and we say, yeah, but he doesn't know what I did. Well, my friend, yes, he does. And there's still a place by the fire. There's still breakfast on the shore. There's still a tomorrow. Maybe tonight you don't need to figure out how to erase yesterday, because the truth is you can't. Maybe you just need to remember that God can still write something beautiful after it. Peter messed up pretty badly. Jesus wasn't finished with Peter, and he's not finished with you either. Now here's a prayer for us. Lord, you know the things we wish we'd done differently. You know what we've carried and how long we've carried it. Help us make right what we can. Help us ask forgiveness where we need to. And then help us accept the grace that you give so freely. Remind us that yesterday may be part of our story, but it doesn't have to be the end of it. Thank you for staying near, and even when we messed up. Amen. Well, my friend, I think maybe that is just enough for tonight. The fire's getting low, and, well, yesterday's still going to be yesterday when the sun comes up. But you get another morning. So get some rest, my friend. We'll sit by the fire again soon, and until next time, in my next stop, take care of yourself. And remember, there's still a place by the fire. May peace be with you.